Huey was the first Mustang to truly touch my heart. As a gathered Mustang belonging to an absentee owner, he was brought to Monty Roberts' Flaggers Up Farms to be gentled. He would make an indelible impression and change my life forever. Since then, there have been many Mustangs who have left footprints on my heart, rescued, gathered, neglected, misunderstood, rehomed, left languishing in holding pens, and even a few carrying the flag of fame. I continue to travel the globe in search of these wild ones, to be close to them in their natural habitat and learn their truths. It's always an uplifting and inspiring adventure to be in the presence of these majestic individuals who gracefully and effortlessly share their wisdom and nature's life's lessons. For if you're willing to listen, to connect heart to heart, they will give you the keys to uncovering the nature of the horse, to capture the subtle whispers and the spirit of the Mustang. These horses represent the freedom that so many of us seek to regain in our own lives, and as they are forced to accept massive change and even the possibility of extinction, it has become my mission to speak for them whenever and wherever I can and give a voice to the voiceless.
What are the wild horse problems? Tricia's heard them all. I mean, you'd hear, conflict with livestock, hard on the range, conflict with other wildlife species, whatever. You've heard. Go on. There's probably a dozen of them. And in fact, none of those are the problem. They are the symptoms of a problem. Reproduction is the problem. PZP is working out here, blocking fertilization. That's the beauty of it. When we set up our laboratories, and we're a nonprofit and decided to do this on our own, a number of people said, something else is going to come along and push you aside, and you're going to have made this investment in time, energy, and money for nothing. We're still here. And you know why we're still here? Because we're operating outside this loop. There's a lot of interest right now on some GnRH vaccines, one that's being proposed for wild horses. You know what's going to happen when they give it to wild horses? They're going to extinguish all this behavior, along with all the social behavior that makes a horse wild and wild. I don't know what the agency goals are for the Pryor Mountains or McCullough Peaks. Ours are to end forever the need for gathers and removals.
The circumstances of the American wild horse are both complex and controversial. In 1971, the United States government passed the Wild Horse and Burro Act. It was created to protect the indigenous equine species, roaming free on public lands throughout the country. Since then, the Bureau of Land Management, the agency tasked with managing these herds, has removed over 300,000 wild horses and burros from the range and adopted out more than 230,000. Today, there are more Mustangs held in captivity than roaming freely, with less than 47,000 wild horses living on fence-lined public lands. Government-funded helicopter roundups and bait traps costing between $100,000 and $500,000 per roundup have been employed to cull the numbers of the protected Mustangs and burros. Currently, more than 50,000 wild horses find themselves in holding pens, costing the American taxpayer approximately $30 million and $80 million for the entire BLM program annually. Although the BLM have considered many possible options, they have yet to develop or implement any comprehensive solution to address the problem. And the number of horses in holding pens continues to grow. So why does the BLM continue to remove the horses from the land? The BLM states that the land simply cannot sustain the growing population of horses, and if not removed, they would destroy the land and infringe on the numerous other species that depend on the limited food, water, and other resources. But Mustang advocates insist the BLM has a different agenda. They claim the reasons for removing the horses range from water and oil rights to cattle grazing, and they question the motivations and legitimacy of the BLM's claims. But regardless of what side you may be on, the truth still remains. If the horses are to have a home and share the resources of these public lands, eventually we must find a way to maintain their population in an affordable, effective, and humane way. The good news is, we do have a viable solution with the introduction of the PZP vaccine. PZP costs less than $27 per horse annually. In the past year alone, approximately 2,200 horses were treated with PZP in 25 different locations, safely and effectively. And unlike other reproductive options, PZP does not interfere with any biological or physiological processes, and is even temporary, allowing every horse to contribute to the herd's gene pool. In the locations it's been used, PZP has had high levels of success in maintaining herd sizes without the danger to horses and massive expense to taxpayers. I believe, as do many others, that this can be the solution we've been seeking to manage and allow the herds of Mustangs to stay on the public lands where they are entitled to live. And as with all challenges, if enough of us steel our will and determination, we can create a solution, one that is practical, works for everyone, and will save the lives of thousands of wild horses. But what about the more than 50,000 horses already in captivity? The wild horses that once roamed free in the American West no longer live naturally as they once did. Their homeland has been divided by fence lines, family members have been removed from the herd, and their rites of passage, grazing, waterhole rituals, and even herd dynamics have all been irreparably altered. However, my passion to observe our Mustangs in their natural habitat and help however I can has never wavered. That light within me shines brightly, and it's my hope to be able to be part of their preservation and to share this gift with others and with many generations to come. At Reach Out to Horses, we return to the heart of the horse, through a combination of understanding the horse's way of life, herd structure, qualities and personalities, together with close observations of interspecies communication. We use unique methodologies to connect with horses in their language. Instead of using their innate behavior patterns against them, we seek to create a support system for both horse and human to reach their full potential. In my opinion, awareness is the greatest survival trait in horses and all living beings, especially amongst the leaders. For without this ability, the horses simply would not and could not survive. If we are to become leaders for our horse, we cannot demand or expect to be given this role. We must earn that right through authenticity, mutual trust, and respect. Horses are our best mirrors to reflect that path to authenticity, and Mustangs are the true master teachers. Although we may not be able to imitate horses entirely or walk in their hoof prints, we can bridge the gap between our two worlds to create an easier transition for any wild or untouched soul to a new life with humans. The more we understand our wild horses, the more we can capture their whisper. Our annual visit to the McCullough Peaks herd always brings with it life-changing experiences. In one instance, we were extremely fortunate to witness multiple bands living close together welcome a lone bachelor. Standing upwind and an obscured vision didn't get in the way of the horses alerting one another of an unexpected guest. Were they tuning into a sixth sense, or was this a vibrational communication? Even though we couldn't see what had them on alert, with heads up high and ears pricked, the horses made it clear that something or someone was on the horizon. Each band stallion responds quite differently to the visitor. As our bachelor approaches, this stallion makes a gesture known as snaking to direct the young foal back to the herd. Without hesitation, the foal moves and responds with a mouth motion known as clacking or snapping, out of respect towards his elder. This gesture can not only be seen in foals, but older horses too, for the very same reason, respect for another. Some believe that horses will lick and chew as a sign of relaxation or release, similar to when foals clack earlier in life out of respect and submission. This can potentially be seen as a natural extension of clacking. Notice the stallion's intention, clarity and precise body language while he directs the youngster's feet and yet keeps his composure. With eyes focused on his target, sure-footedness, a direct approach and clear intention, this stallion cuts straight in front of the visitor, stopping his movement. The arc softens his approach as they begin to move into greeting rituals. Neither one seeks to intimidate the other or invoke confrontation. Instead, they offer a more passive approach. It seems they've met before. Their greeting continues with an exchange of breath and friendly rapport, and no challenging gestures that are common when stallions meet for the very first time. They know when to move and when to wait, how to connect and how to communicate naturally. There are no awkward moments. Everyone is present and engaged. As the herd continues to graze without interruption, the chestnut band stallion joins in. Having greeted one another civilly, everyone returns back to their herds.
I contacted a local grassroots organization called FOAL, which stands for Friends of a Legacy. And these folks formed this organization with the goal of protecting and preserving the wild horses on the McCullough Peaks. Got involved with them, and I ended up adopting, of course, some horses. There was a gather in October of 2009. I saw the 2 horses that I won the bid on, making 4 mares that I brought up. She understands energy, and by that I mean when you project large amounts of energy, you can send these horses into a panic for, they think something needs to be done. But if you learn how to ground yourself and to breathe and to reach out to them, they do respond, and it's just beautiful. But it takes time, and you have to know what you're looking for, and that's what Anna teaches. If you want to see what a true horse and what a true behavior is, you'd have to go to the Mustang, because only they continue to have that. They live in societies. They form family units that work together to ensure the survival of their band and of their herd. And the Mustangs are the top teachers, because they'll tell you if you've got it wrong, and they sure tell you when you've got it right. So if you want to be a truly successful horse person, I think this would be exactly what you would need.
So at this point, when we go into the pen, we're looking for the minor cues. We're looking for the minor whispers. So you're really capturing this thought at this time. This is where the terminology slow is fast will come in. If we create a really good foundation, we will go very fast during the week. If we rush the meeting, we'll slow the rest down, because they get concerned with who you are. So you really want to take the time to get to know them, which means who are they? What's the personality? What do they know from what they're showing you? And you're edging your way in. Now the whisper will be the look. So the first thing we do with these guys will be to capture that whisper, which is the first look. When they acknowledge you, because we're looking purely for acknowledgement with these guys, the untouched ones, then we will leave the pen. We can wait on the outside, think about it for a minute, and then we may go in again. And we're trying to build on the acknowledgement so that they realize when they see us, we will leave. When they maybe look towards us, we will leave. That they can be empowered by the fact that when they pay attention and they're looking at a predator, that they're safe, well, and we will leave. I'll still walk up, I'll block her with the left foot, and I'll thank her for stopping and looking. So it may be the first time that she's had somebody follow her, not drive her, just follow her, and ask for her to pay attention. But what's beautiful is she just faced up. So she's turned in and she's faced up. So this is the first introduction for acknowledgement. She gets to know me. She gets to feel that I mean no harm. My intention is let's pay attention to one another when we're in this proximity. If they do reach out and put their head out for us, it's the hand, we will let them touch it, but you remove your hand before they move their nose. That's the key. Don't wait for them to smell and leave. Just let them reach out, smell, and you retreat prior. It's actually leaving them wanting more, but from a training aspect, it means that you're actually training them to pay attention, touch you, and then you're retreating, which builds on the fact that you're encouraging them to come forward. And I now know my bubble, so it's approximately there. I'm watching her shoulder to see the movement in the shoulder and the skin. I'll come a tad closer this time and reach out. Withdraw before she left. Reach out. And withdraw. She touched it, I'm withdrawing. I'll leave. So that was my moment to say, hi, I'm Anna Twinney. Pleased to meet you. If they come to smell you, which is possible with Paddy, I think, potentially it would be really neat, and they come over and they want to smell your face, just pay a little bit of attention, because often when they do smell, they might want to nip. Niagara seems a little bit like that, where she comes and she'll turn it into a bite. So you can't just go, isn't this cool, she's nuzzling, and tell your friend nuzzling, because you could have your ear bitten. So really enjoy it, but pay attention a bit as to what expression you've got on the horse's face. What we don't do is blow up a horse's nose. It was written in books years ago to blow up a horse's nose. And recently, so last clinic, I also had a student say, she teaches at an agricultural college, that we should blow up their nose. If you blow up the wrong horse's nose, they will grab you and they take you. I'm not sure how far they take it. It depends on them. They could pick you up, they could shake you, they could do other fun things with you. The blowing, if you watch this in the wild, stallions blow. It's a challenge. It's not actually a fun thing. It's a challenge. So what you've said is, great, you're breathing, and I'll blow to challenge you. If you blow up a lead mare's nose, she'd tell you you made the biggest mistake you can imagine. So you don't blow. you breathe with them. You share breath. So when they come here to share breath, breathe with them. And that's a magical moment, but don't turn it up into, because it may not end like you thought it will. You can have an intention as you walk in. Intention's always good. So we're all looking to think about how you want it to go, because your body will follow if you think about that. You may have the intention to just sit and read that book. That's a good intention if you want to do that. If you feel safe and you feel your horse is safe, you could take the chair inside and read, or have some food with you and do that. That's okay. We won't hand feed, but they can certainly come to you. Your intention could be to say, hi, I'm back, and I'll stand near them and see if they come over. Utilize your eyes to do this. So bold would be square, shoulders up, eyes on eyes. But getting passive would mean turning to 45-degree angle, just lowering your head a bit, softening your eyes, dragging your eyes to where you want them to come. That will encourage them to come forward. Look at your timing. If they're looking at you, you drop your eyes. If they're not looking at you, you snap your eyes on to make sure they're paying attention. If you're just snapping eyes on, dragging them, that becomes meaningless doing that. I have to get the eye contact, then I drag. If she's looking off, my eyes stay on till she looks, then I drag. But we don't just keep doing that, because that would be ineffective. So we look at where their eyes are to bring that piece on. The eye contact's crucial. When we have the intention, it's a soft intention. And it's this fine line when we talk about having an agenda or not, because your agenda truly would be to say, I'd like to get to know you. There's an agenda, right? But you've got to be agenda-free. With the Mustangs, if the agenda's too strong, you'll push them away. You do need to be in control of your energy. You do need to do that. You need to know if you're feeling nervous and shift it. You need to know if now's not a good time to go in there. Are you paying attention? Or are you drifting because something's on your mind? You have to have a very healthy awareness and not take your eye off that horse. So when you're in the pen, is it safe to suddenly turn around when you're doing this with a horse? Or do you even think that's fair in a conversation, to start a conversation and turn your back? You need to be thinking and be accountable for that, to say, okay, backing off, we're having a break. I'm now going to share this with my buddy because I want to figure out, was that long enough? Did we achieve something? And maybe they say, but you got an acknowledgement. It's a good time to have a break, so you come out. You don't take your eyes off the horse until you finish the paragraph or the sentence that you're liaising with them about. Once you've got that, you can take your eyes off. You can take the break. You decide if you come to the edge of the pen or if you come all the way out. So the edge of the pen will be a release of pressure. All the way out will be more of a completion. So if you want to call it a jackpot, you can. So less would be just removing the hand. More would be coming to the edge of the pen. Coming out is a true release, because your presence alone in that pen will cause pressure. When she licks and chews, same thing. If I happen to look over, I'll drop my eyes to say that's a great gesture of licking and chewing. Very well done of you. Now, because she's faced on and she is paying attention, I wouldn't look her in the eye and go square. This time I'll arc. I will arc toward the post because I don't want to be too invasive, but I'd like to get a little closer to her. So I'll arc this way. I'll watch her body language to see how she feels. I'll pause when she looks to say thank you for paying attention. She took a step back to release a tad of pressure, resting the hind. I'd like to look at her feet to see what she's thinking. I'll pause. She was thinking of leaving. So I took the pressure off, put it on the left foot, releasing the pressure from the right to say you don't need to leave. It's a lovely gesture you're making. Left hind still relaxed. When I begin moving, she'll begin to pay attention. My eyes are down at her feet or her nose, and I'd like to come a tad closer. She got worried. I'll release the pressure to say to her there's no need to leave. Visualize that you look for. If your mind shifts, pay attention to that. Is that something the individual sending you to warn you? If you suddenly see a spin, is that your intuition saying a spin's coming? Is that horse telling you they're going to kick you? Or is that your fear? Pay attention to it. Shift it though, change it. Because if you hold that image, the weekend class I've just taught, one of the students held an image of a body slam, and the horse began to sort of body slam. Somebody else started talking about the horse getting nervous in the trailer. She was fine up until the student started talking about her getting nervous in the trailer. You need to stay in the present time and change that image to what you need it to look like, which is communication. There's your visualization. We need to align that with your energy. This is different than domestic horses. These animals, these Mustangs, will send you an energy rush. You're going to feel it. If they're upset with you, your stomach may churn. May not. My language is a stomach churn. If I feel a Mustang hit me, the energy blast will churn my stomach. I don't know what it is for you. You'll have to see it. If you feel that, realize it could be them communicating with you. The last 4 to 6 inches on the touch for a Mustang is the piece. It's the hardest piece of it all. We can get in the shoulder, we can get close. You don't gentle a Mustang to that first touch, and it's 4 to 6 inches. There's an energy field between you, 4 to 6 inches. You now have to take their energy and ground it. If you don't, and it's the first touch, and you make the mistake of making first touch this way, it might cost us the whole week. If you do the first touch at the back of your hand, and you take the energy and ground it, that first touch could be phenomenal for you. The first touch is firm, it's not light. Don't go too light. You have to kind of go in rhythmically. You could go like this, we see on some of them if we do, and then touch them. You might touch them, but it's rhythmically and firm. If you go too light, they will jump. So you've got to go firm enough, like a mutual grooming aspect, and they'll be okay. If you're nervous and they're nervous, you'll see their skin quivering before you even get there. Don't even try the first touch then. We need to get that first touch really nicely down, taking their energy so they stay calm.
She was literally untouched, like untouched by another human. No shoots, no nothing. And it's amazing. It was great to see how little of our language they see. Like they don't know anything that our language. And so it was great to be able to just even subtle things like putting out your hand. They don't know what that means. It'll take them, it may only take them 5 minutes, but they see what that is. And they learn so fast what that means.
Go towards the nose a bit. And pause. Wait there. Now when she looks at your hand, take it down. Good. Just like that. Go towards her hind end. And then her shoulder, but make sure you get there so you're not too quiet. Fine line between the sneaky and confident. So you've got to be confident there. Make sure she's watching. This guy might bolt on your neighbor. There, keep the hand there. When she looks, lower the hand. Good, but keep an eye, you see how you're looking up? Sort of keep your vision on her chest and on her. So you're always watching her.
It was just fun, like to be able to play, like, and show them. I guess that was kind of the thing, is like I got to show them that I'm actually something that they can interact with, which, how would they have, they had no idea. All they knew was run. And then you got to teach them that we actually get to interact with you. And they're like, oh, well, that's okay. we can do that. That's kind of fun. Beats the heck out of just chewing on grass.
So see how close you feel you can get without her moving. There it is, right? So then you influence that area. So you ask her to stand within that area. Once she's got her feet planted, you utilize the hand more. Get in front of her, otherwise she'll come out of that. Block and pause. Get a little closer if you can, and pause. Pause there, just put the weight on the outside foot. Good. Edge in a bit now. And pause. Now you can pivot on each foot, right? So you can go off there if you need to. Pause. Go back with her one step. Good. Pause. Go back another step. Keep going. Pause. There we go. Step in towards her a bit. Put your hand up and step back with her. Pause. Lower the hand because she stopped. There. Just put the weight on the other foot. And edge towards her some. A few inches. Both, yeah, one foot and the other one follows. But back up with her. But back up closer to her as you do that. Let's see what happens. Edge into her. Good. Pause. Release the pressure on the other leg. There we go. And lower it. Back up with her so she doesn't walk out of that. And when she stands still, pause. Keep backing slowly, slowly. Good. Keep backing with her slowly. Go in front of her. Go in front, go in front. You're going to lose her otherwise. Pause. There we go. Nice position. Go side on and breathe. Let her stand there for a sec. Just so you know, you're at 320. Thank you. Thank you. Nice edge in. Put the hand up some. Go back with her. Good. Put the hand up. Leave it up. Go back with her. Pause. Go back with her. Nice try. You didn't actually do anything there. It just happened. I can't see anything behind her either, but it was nice. And get back to that place. Keep trying.
As soon as she realized that we could have a dialogue, her attitude with me changed completely. And that was the feeling. But it was pretty nice to like sit there and have her, like, going from 3 days before she was putting her butt at me pretty fiercely, repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly, to have her 3 days later pretty much resting her head in my lap. That was pretty darn cool. But yeah.
Keeping it that way so it's the shoulder on the side, because I have brought up adrenaline. Weights on the right foot. Keep edging in confidently but calmly. Pause. Ask her to stop. Ask her to stop again, and there's a sharp motion and a pause. Eyes down. Now ask her to yield the left hind. So we'll see. I'll just look there. Nice yield. I'll thank her for that. Now ask the hind again, so the energy goes towards the hind, and I'll look at the hind. I've got to look at the eyes as well to see what she's thinking. Nice yield. Thank her for that. Thank her for looking. Now she's looking away. I'll come in a bit. block the hind. I know what she usually does. She's done it twice. Thank her. This time I'll come in a bit at this angle so that she doesn't go backwards to run forwards, with a hope she doesn't anyway. Pressure on the right leg, left to release it. Right, left to stop her. Right to go and mirror her. Left to mirror her, also to suggest she doesn't go that way. And a stop, pause. So now we're clearly saying, please don't back up and don't run away either. I'd like you to pay attention here. This is an area you have exits, but I'd prefer if you stayed. I'll give her that. So I'm going to go right back down there so the movement's sharper and bring her back down. Okay, so she's suggesting here, let's see. I'm going to bring her down to the corner. It worked well for me. And block. And pause. So it's very clearly this is the area. Come in some, pause. In a bit further and wait. Thank her for that. Get her attention back. So the reason I went forward there, she's looking past me. And I thank her actually for staying. She didn't take a step back. That was nice. She's resting the hind, which is unusual. Resting my right. Closing the gap. Thanking her with the left foot. So staying in position, just praising that try. Good job. Left. So the weight went on the left as well as the hand being removed. A little tricky because she's put her head in the corner. Makes it a bit more tricky. But we can still aim at the 45 to this foot. She got distracted, so I've lost her eye. Go. That was a nice move. That works for me. So the hand back there will begin to move the body. See that? So you can make this hand to get a gesture from the body. So there, we can get her back here, block her here, create the area, pause. So now I can begin to move this hand to direct. So here will be a stop. Here will be the thank you. Here will be the stop. Thank you. So we get the hand moving at him. So that's the other thing. So you get more flow. So when it comes to touching her, it will be a benefit. She's just avoiding at that time. So although she's eating, she's avoiding. There's the avoidance. And my next plateau. So the head down with her isn't the softening. So we keep her moving to the corner. So block her with the eyes. Thank her for standing. So that the difference would be when she moves, you really go with her. When she moves. Yeah, she chose to move. I'm really going with her. So to say, there, we're going to move you. Here, we won't move you. So we're slowing her feet here. We're moving her feet over there. But we're not driving her to a point where she's just going in circles. So here will be a stop. Let's see if it works. There it did. Her head's down. Remember, she's looking for exits when she does that. Praise her for that. And for me, my finish, I'm looking for her
to do a nice big try, whatever that try. My ideal try would be she looks closely, she's avoiding, she keeps the head down for that, but I'd love her to bring her head up and literally try for a minute here. So here's the, come back all the way here, let it come out, bringing her all the way around. Same thing, we come to that corner. And slow her feet down. Good girl. Yeah. No. Yeah. There. That was pretty neat. But my real aim, I guess, Adam, would be, you know how she does this piece? I'd like to get her through that. So there's my edging in, just like you were doing. There's her keeping her eye down. There's a suggestion she's slow. There's her avoidance that she does. There's a block, sharp move for a block. New tactic. Pause, because I needed to look this way. Hind yield, I'll put the energy, so here's the hand, the energy on this hind yield. I might even direct it some, but I'd like that to yield. Not that way, that way. She yielded, just not exactly how I had in mind. Back to the position. And back to this position. So it's very clear, here's the happening place. Block, pause. So we got the turn in. Like the hip to move, say thank you. Like the hip to stand, and I'd like her not to leave. So that's my first thing, because she got a bit too much there. But she'll turn in, not to be mistaken with a huge try. So we go back. So she tolerates, but I'd like her to try something. So we do the late on my block. Driving the hips, driving the eye. I'll pause because she slowed down. I'm going to try a draw because she doesn't always do the draws. Oh, but she did a side pass. I'll take that. So side pass is nice because they don't turn. I like that. So that works. If she'd prefer to side pass than spin, that's a good thing. Take that. It's a bit better of a try too. She's not had this hand, so let's see what she feels about this. There. I'll finish there because I went through so much. And she learnt the area, and at the same time I felt that was her real try. She stood, her head was up, it wasn't that avoidance, and it felt very different. Does that make sense? So I can be sharp to block, then I'll make sure I follow the haze, and then I'll say this is where we're working.
Their intuition is unbelievable. I mean, to be able to like tell a horse that you need them to help you out and for them to listen crystal clear is like my little girl today. I told her what I needed to do and I just thought it, and how did she do that? I mean, that was nuts. Like, she went right and did, and she would have, I mean, she put herself in a very adverse situation because I asked her to. Who else is going to do that? And she doesn't even know me. Hardly, except for we touched and we had communication.
And here I can tell what you've done, so I know her bubble's small enough to allow this close. I often choose this angle to come in at, so in effect I'm directly away from the shoulder and I aim my energy and everything that way. I've done that an awful lot. That allows me to sort of come in and then distribute weight as I need to. So I would gauge, what does she know about the hand? She's not that spooky about the hand. The hand's still back, as I'm seeing, has Zunka moved the hand around. But here, about here right now was her bubble. I can also tell that although she's okay with the hand, she prefers to get in closer. Where she preferred the hand, she's saying get in closer, and that's acceptable. So we try that for a moment. It's about here then. So as in this case, I glance at her eye, and that's all I'm doing. So it's a glance up to see what I've got and a glance down. It's not looking at her. If I stay back a bit, so if I keep a 45, let me see what happens. So 45, although is a driving piece, as she's backing, there's a rest. I'll reward the rest by taking the weight off. It's interesting, so she's got a long mouth there for a young horse. She's got a soft mouth, but her nose is disgruntled. So in a very subtle way, she's standing like that. So I just put that up here. One would usually say that's flight, not relaxation, because it's on the tip. But when you look at the mouth, the eye, it's relaxation. But isn't it interesting that she's got it on the tip like an athlete would, and not rolled over like more of a sleeping position? So we just take note of that as well. Coming in, the eyes are looking at her front feet. I'm feeling the bubble, which I'll see in the distribution of weight. So here's where she likes you. Nose is very disgruntled. So I'm coming in way back here. So the pressure way back here caused the yield in the hind. And pause. I don't want her in the corner, so I'm going to ask her to yield that hind, so I have a little bit of an angle for the front end. There's still the flight, and yet the whole body remains pretty relaxed. So that it must be underneath. We'll yield the hind, we'll ask for a stop. In her case, I'm doing it with my feet. Now my eyes were up, my feet are asking for the stop, and pause. Never once has she looked. So my eyes are glancing at her eyes, her body, her feet, but I feel she hasn't looked. She's hugging that water trough. Going to start moving the hand because I want some reaction from her in general. So I'll move the hand. There's my reaction. Okay. So in a way, want to know what is in there. There's a relaxation, but still not a look. And a try. I'm going to reward the head carriage rather than the eye. Still need to move my hand. So it's still a closed hand. It's as though I'd go up and down the legs, maybe the middle, and just move the hand that she gets comfy. So there's a spot that you will have worked her in, plus she's hiding. So I'm going to ask her not to hide, which gives her a route to go, which is that way. So coming in at that angle can just move the feet. She's very gentle when she does it. As she licks and chews, I'll pause. But I want a little bit more hand movements going on. I'm going to ask her to stand, looking at the rib cage. The feet are asking her to stand, and I'm going to reward the sigh. The sigh was so sweet. So the eyes are down, rewarding that beautiful sigh. Coming right back in, more or less at there, you see, I'll change to the angle. So it's less invasive. Back here to pause those feet. And it's okay if she goes forward. It's so fascinating she keeps that foot like that. Still going to go for the motion here. So now I've extended the arm, brought it back. These are circular motions with the fingers and bringing them back. In fact, I'm just doing the circular motions all over, in effect over her body, but off her body, and it's about a foot away. So taking the weight on the right foot, then the left foot, still doing the circular motions, asking her to stand with my feet, doing the circular motions, watching the hind end twitching, and I'll come out. So this time we rewarded the fact that she didn't do any major movements and came out before she did. I'll reward the head drop and the breathing. The eyes are down. There's the eyes for stopping. The eyes are down again. So I'm looking at her shoulder, not her eyes. Eyes are up to stop her. Eyes are down to say thank you. Eyes are up to stop. Eyes are down to say thank you. Out of all of them, the most sensitive. So this leg just braced to stop. The eyes are communicating. Eyes are up. Foot will release the hind end, hopefully. Eyes are down to say thank you. Eyes are now up this time, and I'll create a turn, maybe, or not. A draw, okay. If I keep my eye up, just going to show you keeping the eye up sometimes. There, okay? So that's keeping my eyes up. Not much more, very calm body language, keeping eyes up. So you can see now the power of the eyes. And now I'll keep it soft and I'll do it all right, if you like. Okay, so there's an eye up, eye down. Eye up on her eye down. I'm going to let her come out of there and move her. So I'll tell you what, the reason it worked well with you moving her, because it works well with the energy she carries. So if I gently move her, that's all I'm going to do. It shouldn't interrupt the guys. I'm going to pause when she slows. So what we've introduced, because it felt right, was the fact that if she moves, I'll haze her. If she stops, I'll retreat. But I might ask her to move, and I'm looking for soft footfall, right? Not anything more. There's soft footfall. My eyes are on the shoulder. When she decides to stop, it's all her decision. I'm not going to ask. I'm just following her. Actually, we made progress with the distance just there. I didn't put shoulders square because I'm not driving. I'm hazing, so I'm just following her. Still just following. She can leave, meaning she can leave the area and move out of it, and I'll pause because she paused. I'll keep moving because she's moving. Eyes are down. We're just really feeling her out right now. Pause because she paused. When she takes the eyes off, I'll sort of follow her. She paused. I paused. Take the eyes down. And I think the moving the feet's always a good thing. So you're doing exactly what you did. I'm really just moving her to say you're okay. If I end up just asking for that turn and then I'm hazing, not driving, just because I wanted to work the other eye, following her. When she stops, we'll stop. So I'm watching her feet and her shoulder, not her eyes. So she gets comfortable with people moving. This will behoove you in the long run too. She can stop anytime. Let's just see when she chooses to, eh? There. So that was really to see the choice of how will you respond when I move? How will you respond if I follow you? I'm never going to hurt you. So we've got our second little lesson in. So I'm watching the face because I want to know how she feels about this. I'll step out while it's still going good. Okay. So then, step in again. There's a little pause. Back of the hand. If she can acknowledge, we'll take it. If she can't, it's okay. Good job. Other hand. She just looked. That's okay. She's not sure about two hands. I'm going to go a little firmer. Pause. Back of the hand again. I paused because she didn't like my fingers, so I went back to the back of the hand. Bright-eyed. She's not sure about the second hand. That's the knuckles right there into the vertebrae. And she seems to like that too, right? So you're really exploring to go, do you like this? Do you like this? That she's all right with.
Actually, yeah, it seems to like it.
Yeah. So this was okay, but really the back of the, oh, that's not so good. So then I might ask her to stay there. She's just saying, could you stay? And she did. But then I found something really neat there, which allows me to do other parts. And a normal stroke. Still not ready. That pissed her off. So I really went in to say, ready for the hand? Pissed her off a bit. Okay. But she's then licking and chewing to mean, you know, I spooked, but hopefully we're okay, is the licking and chewing. If she does turn her butt, we'll do a different exercise. Oh, look at that. I'm getting better with the hind feet. And same thing, I might say, okay, let's concentrate on this side then. She says, let's not. All right, so but we're back in position. So in effect, if you want to turn your butt, we just do the other side. She's coming back with, I prefer this side now. So remember we went down here. I'm going to do it a bit slower. There it is. Up, down, up, down, up, down. So now I'm beginning to do the area that we were unsure about. How does that work? And up before she leaves. This we like. And I might put the hand on here because I want to see if I can get a horseman's rope over. Nice little yield. Good job. Remember, I'm not going to offer her the hand because she didn't think it was fun. I'm going to go for a neck drop, maybe, maybe not. So it's a suggestion. If there's a pause, there's a head drop. She just looks and smells. Nice little offer. Yeah, she's got so many itchy spots. It's like she likes it all over. There's not really one major favorite one. Nice hand on the hip, good offer. And straight back to that reward. Great. And has she followed you in here much? Have you done that yet?
Not that much, just a few steps.
That would be neat. See if you can get a full circle. got a bit distracted. You can always go back and scratch her in your case, because the scratch looks like a bigger benefit than a pet. Nice draw, well done. Oh, she's telling you otherwise. Yeah. Well done, Jan, and that's a nice draw. That extension of the top lip is so apparent with the mischievous and the playful and her leaning into it. Can't be disputed that she enjoys the session. Good job. Nice scratch. So when people see this piece, they're hardly going to believe it that the Halter's for the first time this year, and for what, the second time in her life, ultimately. So you should be exceedingly proud. I'd probably give her the whole, whole bunch of carrots. And she doesn't even want them at that point. That's fantastic.
Figuring out what's this.
Yeah. So we can actually leave her in there. And if you want to stay with her, you're welcome to stay with her.
If she comes.
And I'm not sure her first reaction to a touch, what that would be. So then if we're not sure about that, we have a pole. This is a bamboo stick, so it's very easy. You can actually buy it most places. Be careful on the edge that you don't poke them inward. If you keep it upright some, this can become a really nice scratching tool. So we'll aim for the withers. I'm taking both in because I want to see which one's her preferred method, if either. And we can utilize them if need be, so that it becomes an extension of your arm. I've also used the back of a whip where the handle is, and that can be quite nice if it's not too strong and doesn't pull it down, so too heavy on that end. If we end up using the arm's used for kicking horses a lot. Richard Shrake created this, and the advancement on it is the handle just there, that it's firm, so it's great for teaching horses to pick up feet and save your head. But it can also be great to gentle. It's quite heavy. You're putting a lot of strength or weight on this muscle here, so you've got to see how long you can hold it for. But if you need the distance when you gentle a horse, this can be quite effective also to come in and gentle and get that step back in order to get out fast enough. So we've got two options with Corona to go with, and let's see if we can with a touch. So I'm going to show you guys first touch. This will be handy for your babies. Thank you for thinking. I'll just try this first, and then I'll move on to the arm. Thanks, Kath. Hey, good girl. So just like yesterday, as Corona knows it's all about her, we would do similar moves as we would before, where we're looking at where would she like to advance. If she's moving her nose, she's already planning on leaving. So I'm looking for her to try, if she can. And if we can start off, I've got my heart that direction. Her nose went off to the side to smell my hand. Ideally, I'd like her to make an attempt to touch. I've just asked her to stand there and not move around. She touched, and we'll leave. That's Corona's thing. She likes to be the one touching. My eyes are down looking at her chest or her feet or her nose, but not her eyes. She's changing position. I'm going to try and prevent the spin. There we go. Try and prevent it again. Eyes are down. She knows the intention is to touch her versus her touch me. Good girl. I'll slow it down. I'll slow that intention down. So you're seeing the energy shift, and with her, she's hot on that piece, so she'll know exactly if you shifted the energy to go for a touch. I'm going to slow it down. But touch. So the intention here was that she comes to me, and then if it works, allow her to be touched. So that was okay. I'm going to introduce her to the pole. Good girl. You know when she touched it because she's animated. I'll still introduce her to the pole where she can see it, and I can use this now as an extension of my arm. I'll touch her a bit on the nose where there's no response from me to say that that was something she needed to worry about. Now, if she goes to turn her butt, which she shouldn't, we can actually help drive her with the extension too. So this can more or less ask her to stop. There you're seeing the movement. And this, Kathy, is what you would need to see to know how fast she can move. We'll work the near side for a moment. If she changes that, that's okay. The head will come down because she'd be worried. When she pauses in one place, I can reward her by lowering this item as well. Stepping in some, ask her to stand, lower it to thank her. So passive on this side. Come in, block her, block again, dance with her, block, block. I don't want her bolting through this, so I've raised it up. Very clearly, I don't want to teach her she can run through my stick. So that was a clear move of I'm blocking you and you're going to stop. So in effect, I can begin to cue her. So she's changing the lesson some. I'd like her to see it. Good job. And stand. So there's a very clear move. She's not going to bolt through this. I don't want her learning that. So we're going to ask her to change direction. That means going here on this side. When she changes, ask her to stand. Pause, thanking her to stand. So we're raising it some. I can't touch her there because I'm in the kick zone. But I'm going to have this stick now in her presence, closer like I would her hand. We're going to begin to move it. When she stands, I'll thank her for standing. So instead of having to come in too close, and if she does move, I can still keep my stick moving. I'm going to ask her to stand, thank her, come in with the stick. This will pay attention, get her to yield, so we can move it. There we go. And ask her to stand. So the eyes would block if she listens to the eyes, if not the feet. Listen to this area. So that's her creeping through it. So remember, she can't creep through this. You've got to raise it to a point where she respects this item. Otherwise, she'll learn to come through people. So head's down looking for escape. That's not a head drop. It's a concerned head drop. So the stick's in her vicinity. All of this is okay. She just can't keep her butt to you. If she begins to do it too much, we create the pressure to turn the butt and get this block down. and really get her standing still. You need to stand. Thank you. There's a stand, and thank her for standing and looking. Good girl. So we're aiming for the wither area. She needs to stand. And then aim for the wither area for a potential touch. You see her flickering the withers. The whole time she's thinking I'm going to touch her. And there probably is energy going down. She just can't show the butt. Right now I haven't touched her with this. And I'll ask her to stand. So we're getting a little bit of a zone just there. Yesterday it was somewhere else. So the rest is the reward. It's the rest that will help you shape your areas, your classroom. And it's the rest that gives them that moment to think and creates the space. There's the first touch with this. So you can see her skin quiver from it, and the reward is a big removal. So really backing off of her. And praise that piece. So although her body looks calm and her skin's not twitching, you can see there's a degree of mental anxiety because she's pawing. Asking her to stand. I'd like her head to come up. The foot to the right will bring the head up. The tail swishing is just her saying, don't touch me with that on my rump. That's her smelling the ground, so that's okay. She's kept the head down. I'm going to ask her to bring her head up and pay attention. I need her head up so that she watches what I'm doing and pays attention. So it's getting a little much for her to be held in this area. She's asking where she can come through. When she pauses her feet and slows her nose down, we can relax. Okay, I'll let her out of there, see what she does. So there you've got the influencing of the feet. So she's asked to come out, she's shown it's not that fun. I'm asking her to slow her feet, stop them. So I can come in, my eyes are watching her withers, just touch her, walk away. You can see that she didn't like the hand as much. This at least she's tolerating. So I'm working the off side, but it's working quite well. Just touching her, coming in and out. So I'm looking at the shoulder, the withers, and she's standing when she feels it. So gradually we're working a little area of her body. Now if we want to work the other side, we can do that too if it comes about. So I'd like her to pay attention, to know what we're doing. I don't want to chase her with it, but I do want to touch her with it. There. So as we come in, if she shows interest, we'll do that. Gradually, we're getting the touch. Good girl. So I'm looking at different angles. So now I'm working on different approaches. There's my touch. And up to the rump is pretty neat. We've got a lot of tail swishing, but we're getting a bit of a tolerance of it. She stands still and touch. This time I'll stay here. I've lowered my bamboo and touch. Touch. That's the third time. We've got a lot of quivering at the top there, tail swishing, but we do have a bit more tolerating and touch. I'd like her to stand for it. That's my nicest one, I think you'd agree. So I'll take a break just there. So I look to create her comfort zone for her. I was looking at then moving it to the center so we can change locations, influencing the feet by asking her to stand, occasionally then influencing them for the stop, and also moving her around, influencing the hind end so she didn't show her backside. I'm looking for the ear to be locked on. I'm looking for her to be engaged. I'm looking for her to acknowledge this. The releases I'm using would be the eyes, would be the stepping back, the energetic shift, and also releasing by lowering this to the ground. We can't hide it, don't try and hide it, because they'll know it's there, but you do want to at least have it up as pressure, down as a release. The key then is don't poke them with it. You've got to rub it, don't poke. And the next key is when you release it and when you take it off. If you take it off too soon, you'll spook them and we'll create a hypersensitive horse. So you've got to keep going till we get a nice gentle place on the pole gentling. You know that last 4 to 6 inches, what does it feel like today?
She's ready.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear. Cool, so let's see that then.
Okay.
Oh, that's great, Kathy. Yeah, from that twitching and twinging, that's awesome. Nice.
So that was just a very, very light touch. What I'd like to go in maybe 2 more times and get a little bit more.
Okay. A firmer touch?
Yeah. Firmer touch. So that was the firmest touch that I've had so far. I was able to rub my hand back in the hand 3 or 4 times on her belly.
And how does that compare to yesterday? Did you go in with the bamboo stick yesterday? All right, so here's the next thing. Just hand me that stick and I'll show you. So this is what you've got right now here. You're going in like this, and you're here on the body, and you end up rubbing your hand on her body, right, with the stick here. So now we might go in with the stick, but actually I'd prefer if you sort of go in here, touch her maybe, but be in a position to take this out and then rub her. So we're going to eliminate our bamboo stick. Okay? Which you're going to love that moment. And the key is to keep smiling and know that you can do it. So in effect, that left hand may at some point, if you can, just eliminate the stick. But exactly, keep the intent the same that you've had all along, which is just a rubber with that. And come out. So you can see she changes when it's your touch, right? So you may have to have the bamboo stick lower down so that you could just remove it at some point.
I've already moved my hand from here to here.
You're gonna go even higher, about there.
Go in like this?
Yeah. Atta girl. That's it. Good. And your left hand, you see when right now you've got like 3 strokes. Your left hand will actually take the bamboo stick out at some point. So see it? Slide it out, touch. That a girl. Feel that, and there you go.
Oh, that was Thank you, Corona.
It's a nice way because they get the rhythm and you can just pull it and create a new rhythm but keep it going.
Thank you for help, because I wouldn't have been so bold about inching my
So-
way up. I would have taken another
Okay.
while until you made me drop the pole. I didn't realize quite how attached I'd gotten to
To the
using the stick.
yeah.
Yeah.
And try that again, just so that you're getting more comfortable with how you eliminate that stick. So this time your left hand went forward, see? Instead of behind. So it changed the scene for her. Take the stick, that a girl, and out. Nice timing. So she's not seen the hand come that way. That's why in this case it's not sneaky, it's just a nice slide out.
Yeah.
Okay, so reposition her so that you have success. And we go in again. Okay, same thing. Yeah, take your time. That's it. So your stick was a little high, so go with your hand higher up there, because it's harder for you to take it out. Now you'll be more ready to just slip it out. That's it. Slip it out. Good. Good. All right, reposition her. That's it. Come back round. Keep your stick in your left hand this time, and you're just going to use your right hand and simply, when you're ready, reposition her. You would simply touch her with your right hand this time. So you just keep your stick because you can, but once you've repositioned, just touch her with that right hand. Huh. Can you touch her with the bamboo that side? Not really. Not bad, huh? Okay. Can you get closer? No, that's good. Come back around this way. Pause and breathe when you get round this way. Okay, keeping the bamboo in the left hand, you'll just approach and you'll touch her when it feels right. Exactly. You could even mimic like the left hand, the movement of the bamboo. If you end up moving the bamboo, if you just go in and touch, have it with you, but you're not going to use it.
So it's kind of like
Yeah.
this.
See how that works. And come out. Nice. And in a way it's nice because that becomes your extended arm. So if you need to do
This became a
stops.
crutch very quickly.
Yes, it does. But there's your first real
That was
touch,
perfect.
right?
Perfect.
Good note to finish on.
Thank you.
So we're massaging the wither area, moving up my little bamboo stick here. Keeping my eyes down, watching her feet. When she looks, if she looks at me, I'll retreat, purely to say thank you for looking. So still working up, I've got a rhythm in the left hand going. So the left hand with the bamboo stick, got a rhythm. And first touch. Okay, walk away. So we got her standing pretty well there. Said thank you for the first touch. I'd like to be able to just come in and just pet her. So that's good. Good job. So maybe now we can come in and we can pet. Back of the hand, thank her before she leaves. Going to reintroduce my bamboo stick. Just pet her. Looking at the face and the eye. Good job. Going back of the hand, circular motions, looking at her feet. Staying with her, staying at the withers. I'm going to ask her to stand with my bamboo, coming in a bit more, back of the withers. So my hand's now investigating her body. I've begun at the withers, moving down to the shoulder, moving up towards her spine. Remember this? Oh, look at that, really neat. Okay, so I'm going to stay in here. Good job. I'm going to change position just because, see how this works. Watching the hind foot coming in this area. She's still okay. And we'll come on this side just to move her off. Asking her to stand, thanking her to stand. Coming back in here, back of the hand. Here's a stand. I'm going to praise her for watching with the hand. Going in, ask her for a stand with the bamboo. We're going to reintroduce it. There we go. Stand, reintroduce, stand. Good job. Slow it down a tad. Coming in with the distance. Watching her feet. Good girl. Bringing it down. Going for the touch. Coming in at the shoulder. Ask for a stand. Another stand. Thank her. Coming in just with my hand. And release. So there we have nice licking and chewing and a good look. So she's beginning to look and create a bit of an interaction. Your eyes should be watching every part of her, Adam. I know you can't see if you are, but see how the eye's softening? Then you'd know you're okay, because you've got to be able to acknowledge her looking. There. So it's like your eyes literally follow the stick, look at her eye, follow the stick, look at her feet, follow the stick. Your eyes are everywhere. Then you can work your way up. If this is on her and doesn't come off, and she then tries to climb through there, goes up the wall, and you continue having it on, that's flooding. If I do this and come away, that's desensitizing. I stand here, just hold it over her. Let her do her thing, it's just there. So every time she looks back, this thing's here. So she's looking out of the left eye and seeing it too. She's left. Now, she's still seeing it. She's not quite sure what to do right now. So head's gone down. She looks, it's still there. If I continue, see that? That becomes flooding. I'm not going to, because she's got nowhere to go. And she started to look that way, and all it does is stay there. She will probably look at escape routes that way, and if you continue just doing it, that would be flooding. Go. Can we come in here? So she's still, it tells you exactly where you can go, when you can go, and this will help you to read them as to if you're authorized to go to these areas. I couldn't quite get underneath the belly, even if she likes that, and she's still not too happy with two hands at this time. So hopefully we will get to this horseman's rope demo. So the eyes are on, the eyes will be off to thank her for stopping, or in effect to block her, depending on what you're doing. I'm going to ask her to stand there. Front on. Take it in your toolbox when you find that front on thing. Good girl. There you go. Okay, so this is the horseman's rope. It's a pretty straightforward tool. It's small enough that you can begin to groom them with it. She's wanting to smell it. It's small enough to keep it in your hand. The right hand didn't work so well. She braced. The left hand worked better. She likes it at the front. We just keep it rubbing her face, because ultimately this is where the halter would go, so it prepares them for that. Coming into the area when she says it's okay. And you've got a little strand there on that horseman's rope, just hanging down. So that's the beginning of her just feeling it, because ultimately my hand's on her. So there's the rope on her. Here's the back of the hand with a bit of the rope. When it touched her, you see her getting somewhat concerned. So we begin to rub her with the hand, introducing the rope, just like you did changing your hand over. There's the back of the hand. We see there's the rope touching her. There's getting in, my bum's straight with me so that she knows I'm okay stepping in. I'm not worried about stepping into her. So we can groom them with it, which would mean make it smaller, and begin to groom them with it. So the grooming actions of the circular motion get quite comfortable for them, and you begin to groom them. You like that now? Is that better? Okay. If we want to make it longer, we can. Now you'd have that little rope hanging down. So these are the baby steps. Good girl. And up here where you'd put the halter, and it's hanging on her face. So there's many little exercises I can do with this. Just get comfortable with it. So now we're going to keep it a little longer. She just touched that. She's going to be offended by that, so I might need to go backwards. So it's the back of the hand, the rope's in it, asking her to stand. She likes front on, so I'll get to the front. We're now working the other eye. Good girl. There. Back of the hand. So that's that last 4 to 6 inches that you saw, where originally there was a bit of a brace in the neck, and then she softens just a tad. She's softened with the days to come too. So the rope's touching her neck. We touch the jowl. This prepares her for the halter. We touch down here. Good job. Just a bit more prep. Rubbing her. So she's had the rope on the one side. I'm going to come up to the neck with it. We can feed. This is feeding the rope over. If you need to, you keep the rhythm in the rope. She's going to see it now. And the cool thing with this length, this is about an 8 foot. As you feed it over the head, we can actually let it dangle. We've had it dangling a bit. And she should be okay with that if she were loose. Meaning if she gets loose and I'm not right next to her. There. So once I have that on, if you've touched her underneath the neck so it doesn't come as a surprise, you now have your little horseman's rope. It's not to teach her to lead. It's to teach her to carry the rope. And that's the cool thing. If they do get loose, they can figure it out and it's moving around them. You don't have to worry about being attached. Don't try to hang on to it. Good girl. So she's licking and chewing. She's moving with it. Good girl. She's not ready to touch. Oh, hopefully she'll keep it on her. Or she'll rope her own ear. Can we get that off your ear yet? Can I do that? Can I help you? So the foot forward, she said no. Let's come at a bit of an angle to try and prevent it. If you've done your TLC with them, rubbing the ears and so on, she won't be so worried. But she doesn't want me to help her at this time, so we'll just hold on. If she hopefully won't step on it, but if she did, it would just come off. Good job. Can we help you now? Okay, so the eyes are down. I'm going to offer the hand. I found out her like. Good job. So I'll just pet her. Good job. There you go. Well done. So what you're not trying to do is grab this thing to grab it off, because that's where you'll cause the concern. So I've just pet her on that side with a view to come here. She paused. I paused because her feet were thinking of going. So I'm watching the feet. I'd like to come in this side so that I can touch her face. There we go. With a view just to lift this up. Good job. And over. There we go. Well done. Pain-free. Good job. Okay, easy. So we have the rope here. We won't necessarily hold on to it. It's not about teaching the leading, but what you can now teach would be a head drop. Oh, and she got worried about that. So there's your pressure. First pressure potentially on her pole. And so what we just said by letting her leave is you're okay with that pressure. Nothing's going to happen. You're okay. We can build in touching the muzzle now. It's more natural still through oil, but I'm touching her around this part of the face. Don't want her to get concerned that I'm ever grabbing it, so there's no grabbing action. Now, hands open. I'd like her to stand. I can begin to teach her to yield. So this is a suggestion. She put the head this way. She's into pressure. She's not ready. But I can ask her to stand by closing the fingers. She was ready for that. I'd like her to yield this way. Let's see if she's ready. She's still not ready. If she goes, she'll go. It's okay. There's a yield this way. Good job. So what it's teaching her is a stand and a yield, and she's getting engaged by it. So we'll ask for this yield again, this way. There it is. See how light that is? Very, very minor. If you hang on, that's when she'd bolt. So ask her again to yield this way. There it is. So we're teaching a head turn. We'll see if she can do a bit of a head drop. So I'm putting the pressure this way. There's a head drop. 1 inch. See if she can do more. She said, I can yield this way. There's a bit of a head drop. We'll ask again. So she raised the head. I'm going to ask her to stand, see if she can stay with me and go for a bit of a head drop. There's the head up. We still visualize the head down. There's the licking and chewing. So I'll pause. She's trying. Remember, she's got to figure it out. There's a lot of ways she can go, but she's staying, so that's a good thing. And she's still thinking this is a head turn to the left. So we go for one little one down. It's telling you so that she does it. We're not ready for that? You're okay. What if we put the hand there to help you out? Not ready? So now I've got, there we go. The hand to keep the head straight and this one to put the head down a bit. So I can also keep her here and prepare for the halter. So you can lengthen it and shorten it, asking her to stay with me. Good job. If she can. So there's body language. And she's just feeling it. So this is making her anxious, because she's seeing it out of this side and not sure what it is. There. So she's now felt this and next to her face. I've got to watch my lesson length. But you're seeing the rope around her. So this is like getting these colts ready for the leading when the rope's around them and they're okay with it. So, good job, good job. Well done. Yeah, can we take this? There. Good stand. There you go. There you go. There. So now we've got our little makeshift halter over the nose. Easy. Easy, easy, easy. Good girl. There. All right, easy. Good girl. Okay. So ultimately the goal is a really nice neck yield left and right, head drops, preparing for the halter, getting the rope up here and over the nose. It can be a catch tool to go around the neck too, and it just helps them stay with you when you want to do the next lesson. So there's our lesson with the catch rope. So it's a visual, but I'm not touching her. So there's the touch. praise. I'll probably just take a bit more, right? Back of the hand, go into the touch. There. Like a grooming tool. Praise it for standing. Go. Back of the hand, grooming tool. Now on her body, that was a conscious decision. Praise her for standing. Straight on her, okay? Other side's tricky, you say, right?
Yeah, and it's better from this angle, like I was using my fingers and massaging her neck or scratching her neck.
We know she likes the neck. Okay, so now I've introduced her to this. I'm going to change the way I had it. And there's a reason. So we're going to go for just touching her with it. Go. Feeding it over, oops, or letting it dangle. Feed a bit. I know she's not that great on there, so I'm going to just feed this over. Bring it up some. I'm actually going to retreat because I want her to see it. Good girl, that worked. Good girl, well done. I'm getting into my classroom. Correct. Going with the fast forward button. Atta girl. Nice. You move the butt? No? Okay. Okay, getting there. I'd like her to go back in that place, just there. Well done. It's okay. Go. Yeah, so we've got the angle that we can get somewhat of a forward motion. Good job to get that correct angle. Coming in with the touch. So once I get the stand like that, so now she can see it here, and I'll begin to build on underneath. Just there, that's the piece I need. There. So back to the withers, ask for the slow, without spooking her preferably. Good job. And begin to get the touch underneath. Move her back so she understands that. We built that from the beginning. Praise the licking and chewing. Very well with this. We can begin to move them around her legs. Good girl. Over the body, underneath the belly. Give her a bit of a chance before we do that. Front, and yet she needs to stand with that opening to the front. So it's funny, we've got all this piece down, but what they do is they keep their nose. And like she does, she keeps the nose, and that's the piece ultimately where we will gentle her with, would be the contact on the nose. So I haven't put the focus on it. She doesn't like to face up. So really haven't emphasized it yet. Good girl. So now we've got it on the off eye and round the nose. Nice. Next piece. That was our next piece to our little puzzle. We'll get that a bit better. Up to the ears. I'd like her to stay here. Around and there, much nicer. So we now got to move down at the front there. So we make it easier for her to choose anything, and the easy was she would like to stand here and she'd prefer to be touched here. So now what was hard when we began begins to get a bit easier. She may turn her nose. My aim is that she turns her nose to the inside and accepts this. So I'm setting myself up to move the nose to the inside with a yield here, like that. She's falling asleep, so hold that thought, because if she does, she'll open the eye on the offside and realize I'm there. So I'm just suggesting there. Instant no, but it's still a suggestion. As I go to this position, see that? Now she'll offer the eye. Hopefully she'll stay calm. Nope. So we do the same gesture. We were set up perfectly. So I'm trying to create it as her idea. You helping? There's a bit firmer on the stand. Got to lower this because I don't want it to create a move. I see you back there helping. Can you let her know it's okay to turn? So there, the same thing. Okay, one eye, she's moving herself to the other eye. There's the other eye. I'd so want her not to be worried. She's shutting her eyes, I know. But you also know that's not really it. So I inch another inch. She did smell, but she's still saying no. So suggest she bring her nose straight. This is the closest probably she's been to somebody where we're asking her to be here instead of her volunteering. I'll say straighten up. There's your little whispers coming in. just put my body here. There's a choice. Hopefully she can do this. She's still keeping that eye. The question is, can she move the nose and stay? Still ask her to bring her nose back with commotion. So watch the yield. So I'm doing two moves. I've just moved back and asked her to yield. Not quite there yet. The people just watching, they won't have a clue why this is important. We're so close. You'll know when she moves it a couple of inches that way. Can you try? Atta girl. So now the key's not to spook it, right? So I'm not sure how to get it off. And I'll take that. I'll take it because we didn't get the bolt away. We had the sniff and we had a really nice left and right transfer.
And this year she greeted me. Even if I was just walking by her pen, she greeted me. Like, hey, wait a second, come back. What, it's not my turn? What about me? Why wouldn't you want to play with me? And then when I got in there, it was everywhere I went, she just followed me. It was very validating. The first day I was just so giddy to see Niagara again. And that shone through, and she became too playful. She didn't have enough seriousness, and neither did I. And so when I came back in again and grounded myself, it was different. She was different because I was. She was eager to learn almost. And then there was like this moment when she clicked and there was confidence. And then she really started to enjoy herself a lot. And then the red one. Awesome possum, thank you. No, I'm just telling her when you're done. Stop.
got the line moving exactly where it needs to. I need to be able to hug her. If I can hug her, because you've done all the neck work, and the piece you were missing was really easy, easy, easy. Girl, just the hugging. Good, there's a lick and chew. Go to the neck. There, she's blocking you totally. There, watch yourself there. And gently, she's concerned because her neck's tilted, head's tilted. But don't let her move your feet either. But at some point to her. Even if she leaves, you might block her. But you've got to sort of walk to the side to stay there. So you're dancing with her on that side. Stay on the side.
The methods create this open door of where's your voice, and let's explore it together. Let's find out what you can handle now with what you've endured.
Are you mimicking St. Patty?
issue with the flopping. Blue not your color?
Just in the mouth a little on this side. That's it. Take your time if you can. Atta girl.
Blue's not her color. She likes black better.
Blue is the summer color, though.
Hmm?
Blue is the summer color. Casual.
She says it belongs in the sky. When you're ready. You can mock it all day long. As bad as baby teething.
That's it. Just take your time to fix the halter.
I just didn't want her to get it off one more
Yeah.
time. So I took it where it was.
Yeah, so if you fix it now, as best you can, so you know it's on well. So you wouldn't open it up, just fix it in place and stuff.
I mean, how can you be accepted by something so wild and not want to keep it close? You know, if she can't go back out to the wild, if she can't live that life she had before, then the next best thing is to share the rest of her life. If that makes sense. It's where we're supposed to be.
Because this will also be good practice to take her out. My hope's to get these guys out. There we go. You know, feel a bit of water coming. You guys have a lot of water here in Wyoming. So touched her foot, came away. Can you pet her? So I can only tell because there's a little sprinkle on her foot. Okay, going to do the same thing coming in on the side. I'm going to touch the hoof, come away, and then bring her to you, don't go to her, so that we keep her coming forward and she doesn't actually resist this too much or go too far away. We try and go at a good speed. There's some noise. I'm going to touch the foot and come away. So bring her back to you. My goodness, you guys with your bathing. It's such a cool thing to do.
And you play in water all, you swim in water.
I'm going to just work this area actually. Just let her feel it, hear it. I'm going to bring it higher just so it begins to touch her. It should touch her because of the wind. I know it's a noisy bugger, isn't it? Make sure you stay safe. It's just going to touch her a bit. A little bit down here and away. A little bit in. That's pretty sweet. Front feet and away. Good girl, you can pet her. Okay, ready? Keep her with you. Front feet and away. Bring her back forward. Center just means we've got a little bit more room as well to work in, and two people. Just going to let it feel it on the shoulder for a while. It's nice and soft, this particular spray. It's easier than actually just holding it. She's going to engage. We'd love it if you do engage, Niagara. That a girl. There's the benefit. That's what we wanted. We wanted your character coming through. There, good girl. Oh, we now want the hose. Not that much we don't. We have to hold on and wait for the hose. The hose, okay. Now I'm going to go for the shoulder because I want to make it my comfort zone. Let it go. You're going to love this and thank us for it. It's a hot day. There you go. You're okay. Keep her off to the side. She's learning the halter, you see, at the same time. And release. Back to the center. Because it's the first time, you know, where there's two and she's being asked to sort of stand. And if we can do this kind of stuff, we might be able to lead her out. It's okay. Gonna come right up the shoulder. Good girl. She totally puts her face into it.
She always plays in the hose when you fill her water.
Atta girl. Atta girl. You okay with this? And then just bring off to the side so I can get that shoulder. I know that's noisy, huh? Yeah, that's very noisy.
Yeah, she's I'm getting fur back on her.
Forward and back here. Good job. She likes it up there. I'm staying in the shoulder. Exactly. Watch her front shoulder. Back to the hind a bit. Gonna keep it up there, Tad. Better, that's better on your hand. You can barely get it there with the wind.
It's easier when I switch the canvas holding.
There. Oh. Bit of a spray going on. Okay, let's spray that leg. Okay, let's see if we can go from the shower. We don't want jet. Full's really strong. Let's try this one for a minute. We're trying all the settings on you. You don't like that setting, huh? No. That setting's not good. That's the cone.
Good job.
Center's going to be too... She's still liking flat and shower.
I don't know why you had to change it, she said.
Okay, ready? Yeah, back to the middle.
Come here, Toots.
Girl. And her halter's dropped.
What is that?
Yeah, it's new, huh?
Oh,
It just
it
go...
really dropped.
Yeah. It will with the wet and everything. There we go.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But the nylon lets go that much. Good girl.
We got it in time. Oh, they're going to have fun out there. When you're ready, just let me know. It's funny, it is that protection at the hind. I'm going to try this. I can't remember what setting we had.
Shower.
Oh, this is shower then. Good girl. Good girl. You see the dirt coming off. Good girl.
5 years worth.
Good girl. You are so good. Gradually covering that butt, aren't we? You are so good. You're alright. So good. Good girl.
Got one foot up though.
Yeah, I saw it. Just gonna try. Good girl. A bit under there. Well done. We're beginning to cover her whole body. And back here. Good girl. So funny. There, nice one, Niagara. Thanks for staying. Good girl, thanks for staying. Got a hind piece, just going to get that bit right for there. Under the belly, rock on. Good girl, stay here. Now it's like we're bathing you. Oh, we'll take that. Okay. That's the finale. Just to show people that you're not too worried. Okay. There you go. First bathing. Well done, lovely. Okay, you got it, Mariana. You didn't stay at the feet. You have to stay at the feet to start here. So just tiny bit on the feet and take it off. So how it touches the feet will be crucial. So that shape, you've changed the shape. Just bring them forward again for me. So I think it's this. Here, watch. Hold on, we'll see.
I have to stay on the same side if you're just saying.
There. So there's these little raindrops and away. Little raindrops and away. So I'm watching the feet, but I'm listening to his breath. Look, raindrops, little more, there, and away.
Yeah.
But you did this.
Yeah.
So now you've learned that the way the water comes out is equally as important. That's it. Praise the licking and chewing. That's it. Then pause a bit and then you can go higher. So make sure you start climbing up to different parts of the body. So he's getting pretty comfy with the feet. You're just going to add to it. And be conscious of his nose. He might play, he might not. It might cause a reaction, we don't know. So just decide what you want. Come back in. Shoulder, good man. Good job. You can smell. I'd love it if the feet came down, so I'll praise the licking and chewing. So you're watching the licking and chewing. You're watching the feet. It really tells you that you've done a great job if you get those 4 feet on the ground. Still got the licking, so I'll say thank you to that. Come back in. Good job. This twitching will go. If you do this long enough here, he'll get more and more comfy, even if it hits funny spaces. If he can stay, perfect. Okay? That's actually right now a better option. Yep. So you've got a couple of ways that works really well. I reckon you guys can figure that out. Keep bathing him. That's good. 4 feet on the ground. So also praise the 4 feet this one time. That's the first time you've had 4 feet solid. So licking and chewing 4 feet solid on the ground, we say thank you. Then you can go back in again. This time, hopefully, keep 4 feet on the ground. You won't have to say thank you. That's great. You're nice and close. You're nice and smooth. That left hind just came up. So he's telling you, and you'll come away. Thank you. So you saw that bit, Yana? When he had all 4 on the ground, then lifted it, he's letting you know he's a bit concerned. Pull away before, walk him around or give him the hay. And that's how you'll build the whisper up. Okay, leave you guys to it then. Very nice. You've got all the time in the world just to basically bathe him.
You need a huge toolbox to address untouched horses, while with domestic horses the toolbox can be smaller and it'll work way easier, and you have to think out of the box to deal with untouched horses, and that makes me think right now.
Make sure you're nowhere near those front legs, okay? Nowhere near. Front foot coming. And then bring him back here. So the key will be try to keep him in one area. And I know that's hard. Back him up now, but make sure he backs till he's resistant free. So keep backing him. Keep backing him. Keep backing him. Get out the front piece. Guys, watch yourself, Micah. And soft, and bring him forward. That's it. He's saying he's objecting to anything, a bit of his attitude coming through, but we all see the leading getting better. We negotiate. And remember, the aim won't be to bathe. It really is behavior. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it really is. That's great, son, because to come where I've created these puddles, and how about you just walk through the puddles? But actually not you, more him. Yeah, I know. But you'll go pretty close to the fence and then just see if he comes through a bit of the wet puddle area like that. That's great. And walk on and come around again. And still look for the feet to settle. That's close. Keep him here this time. Just because we're going to keep the foot. 1, 2, and keep him here. Keep him here. Not bad. Keep him here again. See if we can get these feet down. Just gonna keep him here. Just gonna see what what we can do. If I can trust that you're okay, I can just keep trying. And I think that's good. Keep the emotions under control. We're going to keep going a bit if you can just keep him with me. Keep him around. Keep him here. Keep him here. That's it. We're going a little. He's doing the tango. Keep him here. That's it. Just feel that little boy. We're looking for a moment of a break, and I'm not getting much yet. I think it was there.
Let's say if we talk to horses, it's not only body language, it's this whole energetic work, it's telepathy, animal communication, which brings it to a totally different level.
That's a nice walk. Soft. Okay, just keep him like that. Remember, nose off of you. Nose off of you. Soft hand, keep him here. Soft. Soft, just there, soft. Keep him soft, I'm just saying that. Good, nose with you, soft. And I'd finish there, take him home and he'd come back later. Now he's leading fine, because now he's doing something he wants to do.
Yeah, exactly.
The horses learn something, the humans learn lots too and go through a lot of emotions and are processing lots of things. So we try to communicate and find a common way to finally get to a better place for both human and horse.
When she would give a clinic on, a certain topic, she'd give different ways to handle a situation that might come up, because every horse is different and every situation is different. So it's important to know have multiple ways how to approach a problem or a situation that might come up. So I thought she was really good at doing that as well, because a lot of people will say it's just this way, this is the only way to do it, but it can't be, because every body is different, every horse is different.
It's like rain. We make it as simple as possible for these guys. That's a good rain therapy here. That's it. Soft hand and forward. That's it. And I'd keep it down on this side, a little too much of a reaction. So you'll just walk through, we won't have the water on the other way, because he could push into Zunka this way,
like
see?
that, so I'm just gonna do it
Yeah,
when he comes in.
exactly. Once we've got that down a bit more, that we don't have a push towards him, we can maybe incorporate that. That's it. That's nice.
That's nice. That was a nice walk.
Spread it out a bit that you don't have that thick one. There we go. Come all the way this side and let's get him touched. Oh, nice, man. Yeah, he's another one that likes to move. So it's helping him. And so when he goes for the stop and we start bathing, just make sure you're out of the strike zone. And we put it on him. So you need to gauge that tad, no, not too high, too long. So it's got to be on him, but take it away before he starts doing anything he shouldn't do. So try again, Michelle. Just going to go on him, Zunka. 2, 3, take it off. There, and walk away. So his feet were on the floor. He stood nice, you take it off. All right, turn and face him, because you need to get the coils in the right hand and get him standing. So capture that thought so he doesn't back into this gateway. There. Back now. Good, soft. Back now. Soft. Back again. And you're going to have to back him farther than you are. That's it. Good job, Michelle. I'm just going to watch him. Back him again, so stop swinging those hips. He's going to get grumpy about it, but get him back. Get out of the strike zone. Soft hand, stay on Michelle. 2, 3, 4. Sorry, stay there. Oh, make sure you don't make a mistake, Michelle. That's it. Back him up, Zunka. That's it. We're looking for a moment of quietness, but don't touch him. Make sure the hips don't swing. Pause, take it down, Michelle, and walk off. That's better. That's better.
Bring him in. What, do you want my helmet?
Did I wear a helmet?
Do you want my helmet?
Good boy. It's still good. So whatever he's giving is good because he's learning and he's doing his best. So even if he's swishing the tail some, see if he won't swish there, he's still giving his best. Can you try that? A little bit. What about this? So you're bringing in scenarios so that if someone were to come in just at the bottom and actually not prepare him, that he's used to a thumb just touching the back here. There, nice. And offering that foot. So if you think they're going to kick or you've never done it before on that particular horse, the arm can create a nice softness. This is all in preparation for picking up the feet. When they see their leg for the first time, they often do exactly that. Here, look. There's the stretch. Here, wonder how on earth his foot got there. Investigate it and gently put it down. And we get a nice Farrier stretch in there and a stretch ready to trim. So a little bit of the Farrier prep, but it can be neat. When it comes to the forward yield and you're teaching them to come off pressure, not only do we create the stretch that you've seen, we might ask for a step forward, and then Kathy, you'll bring him forward. Kathy would take care of the other foot. I'll take care of this foot. And we begin to lead them off pressure on the feet. This is terrific, good man, because it teaches them not to panic when there's restriction around the foot. So if they're on a ranch and they get into something, they're not pulling. They actually get comfortable realizing I need to stand or I know how to come off the pressure instead of pulling back into it. There you go, bud. So I use that one with the Mustangs when I put my butt here to just prepare for the cup on times. This is the older, you know, on an older horse, you'll come in and you'll cup your hand to be able to muck it out like that.
It's a shame with these gathers that a gather will break apart the family and cause great turmoil for these animals. They are ripped from their families, and I can see that. I have one little fellow here, and I think he was removed from his family far too soon, and it's caused great stress, and I'm working with him to find peace for him.
The intention is I keep going in, keep his nose a bit here, just on that time. Feet are moving, hands come up. So the hand's going to stay there, we're going to pet him. Stay right behind me, good. Good job. That's it. And moving back to that place. Coming in the side, pet him, get ready, touch the pole, come in, touch the buckle. Good man. Leave. All right, so now I've covered this much at the front. So we've got a ton of approaches. Good man. So you've got a body twist just at the back there. I don't know if you can see that. So he's just coming into the pressure. We're looking for him to be able to stand and not worry about that. Still worried. So I'm still paused, that he gets a moment to decipher it. So there's the touch, and I wait, and I stroke much better. Let's walk him around. Not until his nose is in the right place. I can come in and out. Asking him to slow down. There we go. I'm going to go through the chest area we haven't done, sometimes a little trickier, with the Mustang. Okay, you saw that? In the wrong place, you're out. So, that's the area you don't go until down. So I'm going to put bust before you do. So here's the shoulder. Come to the middle, come to the back here. Keeping the nose to me. When he pauses, to say thank you. You'll begin to make the secondary reward, which is the petting, your primary. So when he does come forward, begin to pet him, that it becomes more normal, that you're going into a blind area to pet his forehead. If he volunteers forward, we just take it, because in his case, he's slower. So when he gives you any forward like that, just walk with him. That you say, okay, forward's good, and let's see if we can actually direct the feet as you're moving. If he goes off somewhere, you curve just like this. So we try to prevent straight lines. We try to keep curves like we see them arc and angle. You begin to shape behavior that his nose is next to you, not behind you. And the Mustangs do love to hide. It is one of the things that they do. They go behind, they tend to drag a bit, and they stay behind. So you'll look for forward and shape the behavior with the nose next to you as much as possible, because he'll put himself behind. And then we begin to get that forward motion, just like that. And remember the pet. And the pet's kind of neat, not just because it's a rub, but you now work on advance retreat, which is the same as the thing with radar. If they're not sure about a sharp approach, we happen to be building it in. Okay? So for those watching, what we're looking for as Trish does this would be a minor touch on the lead rope, not really a pull, it is a massage, but also as soon as he makes the attempt to go forward, there's slack in the line, and that's really the key, so that we don't drag them. They work off of the release, and the release would be that there's no touch in that line. And you can see that he gets shaped, so when he's thinking of going off to his left, by just moving right, you're already influencing feet in such a gentle way. It's beautiful.
Special.
You're holding it together too, I know, and oh, you two have gelled.
Yeah.
You gelled. You guys make me cry.
So fantastic.
Yeah, that was awesome. You're seeing the world before your brothers and sisters. All sisters in this case. The big smile on Trisha's face. She's so proud of him.
First and foremost, the thing that blows my mind is she can get to a location, she goes up, she sees the horses, she has some students she's had before, maybe many times, maybe once, and then some new students, and she's just like, you're with that horse, you're with that horse, you're with that horse, you're with that horse, and it's like gloves being put together, you know, it's like that is a match set. And I've only seen her change her mind once. And that right there says she's not only reading the horses, but she's reading us too. Almost to a point of being creepy. And she speaks to us all differently.
Due to Anna's clinics, I've fallen in love with the Mustangs, and there's a Mustang now in my riding program, and I used to be kind of intimidated by them and thought they were these wild creatures that should never be handled, and my perception has changed, and I find them to be magical and unique, and I wanted to be closer to them and be a part of helping some that have been taken off the range. When I didn't have an agenda for 2 days and I was like, oh, I would like to get this done or that done. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, great. And those are my most productive days, you know, with the horse, and the days where I felt most connected to her. And then when I was given some tasks and assignments to accomplish is when things backtracked.
Just seeing all the different approaches and seeing the skill set. Everyone has a different skill set that they bring. And it was really neat to see everybody else work their horses as well. I almost enjoyed that as much as working with my own horse, because it was cool to watch the struggles, you know, and the celebrations, and yeah, that was really cool too.
So I guess what I learned most is the need to ground myself, to breathe, to relax and not bring in any anxieties. Have a general feeling of I want to help you. It's rotten that you had to leave the wild, but maybe the two of us can make it so that you can live in this domesticated environment.
I've always appreciated and loved horses, but this is a whole new level of it. The subtle nuances that I never used before. It just seems so incredible to me that we can move a horse with the weight shift, the eyes, just those very subtle cues that, coming from a horse showing background, you know, you always try to do the subtle cues, but had I known this years ago, who knows what you could do. Some of the favorite parts are watching Anna with the horses and seeing how she moves, and she just can read them so well, and then taking it and practicing it with your own and learning that you can do that as well. And I guess being around Anna is fantastic because she has this wonderful energy, and she's able to help people to find that balance and grounding and love of horses, and to learn to appreciate them that much more. And it's such a greater, deeper appreciation than you could ever realize you had.
So my name is Jenny, and I'm from Denmark, Copenhagen, and I'm a school teacher.
My name is Marianne, and I'm from Denmark, and I live in Saxkøbing, and I worked with neglected children.
And they bring out all of your emotions in a way higher level than a normal horse does. And you can't describe the feeling of touching a wild horse for the first time, because it's nothing like touching a domesticated foal for the first time. So you can't even describe it, but you can feel it. It's so different.
I think the opportunity to work together with the horses brought us closer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Somehow we just talked without a word, because we had to. And it was quite a different feeling. Everyone should try.
It was impressive to see that just a week can change so much, and that what we did last year didn't just go forgotten. She remembered, and she remembered me, and everyone has actually a lot of people here have said to me, it's amazing. It's amazing the connection you have. I wish I had that with my horse. So that's really cool. And she's giving you her full attention when you're in there working. She knows what's going to happen before you even know it yourself, which is great, so you can rely on her 100% to keep you safe. I haven't met any other teacher there's like her. She not only knows what's going to happen, but she knows what can you do and what can't you do, even if you don't know yourself. And she's always very positive about what she does, positive about the horse. There's not anything in her that goes, oh, that horse is bad or didn't do good. She always finds a positive. And I think that's very few horse trainers that does that. And I like that about her. That's why I keep coming back.
Horses are different. Horses touch your soul. They touch your heart. Mm-hmm.
If a wild animal can accept me in such a short amount of time, I must be all right. There must be something good in here. And that validation is priceless. It's beautiful. I think after I first touched Anna, she asked me, how was it? And I was like, I don't really need any certification from you. Niagara just gave me every bit of validation I will ever need.
They're a national treasure, and people don't appreciate them enough. They don't know what they've got, and they won't know what they've got till it's gone. I mean, that's the saying.
It's kind of overwhelming to think that there's tens of thousands of them, and they're not going to really get that empathy. They're not going to get that release. And they're not going to be able to explore the world that they're crammed into. They just have to deal with it.
The most impressive part still was going out to the Pryor Mountains and see them in their natural habitat. This is like going to Africa on a safari, kind of.
I think you have a treasure here. You don't have it any place else in the world. You're so lucky. They are so fine horses and so intelligent, and it gives you a lot as a person to see them, just be there and watch and work with them. Yeah, just go and see. You will find it in yourself.
To help the Mustangs, people can continue riding congressmen, their local BLM offices where Mustangs have ranges and herd management areas. They can also form local support groups. That really helps and supports a Mustang range. That would be the biggest benefit I've seen in 19 years of working with the BLM, is a local support group, and continue voicing that you want Mustangs on the range and don't quit.